All right. Hello, everyone. So we are kicking off a special month at the Authors Impact Hub with the author Q&As. I am your host, Juanita Woodson, founder of the Authors Impact Hub. And we have a children's book lineup for the month of November. I'm super excited about that. So I am going to, I always let the authors do their own introductions. I feel like no one can tell who you are better than yourself. So we have one of our community members and admin for Authors Impact Hub, Paula Banks. I'm going to kick it over to you. Tell us where you are from, a little bit about your background and the book that we are discussing today.
My name is Paula Banks, and I'm a children's book author. I currently reside in Norfolk, Virginia. I am from New York, but I have been in Virginia for the it'll be 22 years next month. And I just always love to write. And my first book was I went blank. Peyton's First Day at a New School. And then my second book is like my baby, Dream Big, Peyton's Hip Hop Adventure, because everything that I didn't know for my first book, because I knew nothing,
Yeah.
and everything that I learned, I put it into my second book. So Peyton, First Day at a New School is what, got me started, but Dream Big, Peyton's Hip Hop Adventure, that's the first book that I actually went in and did things in the correct order, did things that I should have done in my first book. So that's like my first baby right there.
Yes, yes, I love it. And I get that because sometimes like we'll put out our first book and it's like, okay, maybe it didn't do as great as it could have, but you go and you like learn the process and then you start from scratch with book number two. So I'm excited
Yes.
to hear about Peyton, right? So how did you come up with the character Peyton for your book series?
Peyton really, basically Peyton is based on me as a little girl. She's doing things that I didn't do because I was really shy growing up. So she's doing all the adventures. She doesn't care what people think. She's just doing her thing. Um, the name, one day I was sitting on the sofa and me and my husband were watching TV and something just said, Peyton's Journeys. Like it just came out of nowhere. So then I just started like writing down like notes. And that's how Peyton, the name and everything came about. The series, I've always wanted to do a series of books. Growing up, I loved the Babysitter's Club book series by Anne Martin. So I always knew that I wanted to do a series like that. So I figured I'm just going to take Peyton and we're going to go on some adventures. And that's how Peyton came about.
Yes, I love it. I used to read those books, the children's book series. Absolutely loved it. And then they came out with like the TV version of it too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Do you see your book series turning into like a
I
TV?
do. That is like my ultimate goal to have Peyton like in her own animation show on Disney, Nickelodeon. Like that is the ultimate dream, the ultimate goal that I have.
Yes, I love it. So you've been writing since you were younger. You've always had a love for writing. How have you
Yes, yes.
infused, because I know hip hop, how have you infused your love for writing and hip hop into your writing world?
So I think so with hip hop, I have tried to infuse it in everything I do with the brand. So with the second book, hip hop is a huge part of me. I love hip hop. If anybody who knows me knows that I love hip hop. So I wanted that to be incorporated into the Peyton that this particular book. So that's why I really made it at the forefront. But everything what I do with even with my marketing, there's always going to be a hip hop song or element that kind of ties into it. It's just because I just love it so much. It's just been a huge part of my life, hip hop, and I just felt like for me, it's just a part of me. So to be authentic, that just was naturally a thing to add to my brands and to the story. So every story has like the new book I have coming out. It has like a rhyming element. It's in like they're doing mystery, but there's like rhyme. So there's always going to be something that is going to contribute like a little dash of hip hop in it.
Yes, I love that. It's so creative and it allows you to like share a piece of who you are authentically in your writing.
Yes,
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 you get to infuse your culture almost into your writing. I love that.
yes.
And then as an African American children's book author, how do you kind of navigate the space?
I mean, it's difficult sometimes because there's always like the usual normal children's books, right now there's more of books that are more representing of people of color. But still, I mean, a lot of books get more exposure that are just like I'm going to say the normal children's books, but people of not color. And it can be difficult, you know what I'm saying, because you're not included in conversations or invited for collaborations, and it's rough. So you have to just carve your own lane out, and do your own thing. You can't really sit around and wait for people to come to you. So that's what you have to do. It's unfair at sometimes, but I'm making it work.
Yes, I love that. So I often ask the question, like, what challenges have you faced, right, in your writing journey? But it seems like a lot of authors, so like children's book spaces and then like nonfiction, fiction, as African American authors, it is a little bit harder to get your voice or your brand out there. So you do have to like carve your own lane, right?
You
So what
definitely
are
do.
what are some tips that you would give to somebody that's just like, I'm not being seen? What would you say to an author?
If you're not being seen, you got to make yourself be seen. You can't. I see a lot of authors who depend a lot on Amazon. Like they're really big on like I need to be on Amazon, and Amazon's great, but Amazon is not going to get you seen. There's millions of books on Amazon. You have to boots to the ground. You want people to see you, you have to put in the work. Social media, you can't post one day and be out. You have to really be consistent. Consistency is something that I've always learned is the key regardless of whatever you're doing, writing, losing weight, whatever. If you stay consistent, you're gonna see a change. I started this in February. I had no idea that any of this would be happening. But I knew that if I wanted to be successful or wanted people to at least know my name in my books, that I had to figure out how to maneuver. So that's what I did. I researched. I'm stalking Instagram pages. I'm typing in stuff on Google. I'm just trying to figure it out. And there's so many things out there for independent authors, for children's book authors, for authors, period. But nobody's gonna bring that to you. Nobody's gonna send it to your email inbox and be like, here, do this. So if you want to be seen, that's really something that is on you. You have to make it work. You can't just sit down and just be like, if you really want your book to be out there, if you really want to make your brand, your author brand into a business, you got to put in that work. I'm not being seen, what was me? You can't have that attitude in this business at all. At
Listen,
all.
you just dropped so many gems. I wish it was like a live audience because there would be noise going in the background. So many gems that were dropped. Definitely yes to like not having the woe is me. Um, and putting yourself out there. So you said you started in February, right?
Mhm.
I would not have known that you just launched your first book in February because of the way that you genuinely show up, the work that you're putting in. I would think that you were like a seasoned a seasoned
Girl,
children's book
no, I
author.
am not. February 2024 is when my first book dropped. And I told myself, like, if I can figure out how to get a book out there, like, figure it out, then I could do this. And I didn't know anything. I literally know nothing. And I figured it out and I did it. So that was fuel for me to like, girl, you could do that. Then, imagine now what you can do now that you have this, you have all this knowledge. So yeah, I have only been doing this not even a full year. And it kind of blows my mind because everything just pivoted so quickly. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say like I should have done this a long time ago, but I was just, scared. I was fearful
Yeah.
to even step out and just do anything like this. So yeah, I'm a newbie, really a newbie.
Well, you're doing an amazing job, and I think that it
Thank you.
is like a testament to the will that you need to have in anything, like you said, losing weight, becoming a children's book author, just anything. If you say, hey, I want to be successful at this, you have to be boots on the ground. You have to set aside time each week to dedicate to building and marketing. So how is that, how do you show up like on social media? I think you do it in a really unique way. How do you, I would love for you to.
So I always try to schedule my week out like with a content calendar, so I can have things all ready to go, and that makes it real easy for me to just schedule, and then I don't have to worry about it. I try to engage with other authors and people who leave comments, and just to try to build some type of community. And I think I'm doing that pretty good. I've met a lot of different authors and that have been real supportive, and just it's been a great thing. The author community has been really welcoming, and I've learned a lot. But if you are going to take social media seriously as far as helping to promote your book, yeah, you have to show up. And I pride myself on like at least showing up 4 to 5 times a week, because people want to get to know you. And my page is an author is about my books and everything, but I want people to get to know me as well outside of being an author. So I started a series called Beyond the Book. So every Friday I post something about myself that's not associated with my book. So people get to know me, because people might have assumptions of who I may be. I like hip hop, so they're probably, they don't know. They may think my favorite movie is Beat Street or something. I don't know, but there's layers. So I want people to, to know me on a different level than just being an author. So those are the ways I try to connect with my audience. And I just try to think outside the box of just different things to do, that will always go back to my book. So yeah, social media, you just got to be creative and consistent. C.
Yes, I love that. And then how do you show up outside of social media? Because I know as like moms, as women, as wives, like we wear a lot of hats. So how
Yes.
has your author brand, I want to make sure I ask this question. How has your author brand kind of infused into your everyday life?
It's in there. I mean, everywhere in my house there's books, there's just everything. You can't get away from it. It's part of our life now. My kids know, my husband's with it, so my family knows. So it's just been ingrained now into my life. When I get off my 9 to 5, I clock into my brand and my author, because it's something that I'm trying to build, and I know that if I want to do it, I have to continuously work at it. But my family knows this has always been my dream. They're really supportive. They're like, Mom, do you have any podcasts today? You got any events today? So they know to ask me so we can, work around my schedule, their schedule if they need something. But yeah, it's been great. It's tiring, because I still have to be a mom. I still have to be a wife. I still got to cook. I still got to clean. I still got to, take time for me. So yeah, like you said, we wear many, many hats. But I'm enjoying it. I can't complain. I cannot complain at all.
Yes, I love it. And I love to hear that your community is supportive because being an authorpreneur, right? Being an authorpreneur and author by itself, it can be like a lonely journey if you don't have that support, you don't have those people pushing you. Just always encourage authors to do, right? Is if you have that supportive community, continue to pour into them as much as they are pouring into you,
Yep.
right? Because it really makes a huge difference, especially on those days where you're just like, I don't want to, right? I'm not getting the likes, I'm not getting the shares, I'm not getting all the things. But when you log out of social media and you have that community around you,
It's
right?
beautiful. Yeah.
It
It's
makes a
it makes a
big
huge
difference.
difference, because then it puts things in perspective. Like, you're upset
Absolutely.
about, you put up a post that you thought was gonna knock.
Yeah.
Everybody was gonna love it. And then it
Right.
doesn't. So then you feel like, you start getting down on yourself. But then when you log out, then you still have people who still love you. They don't care about the post, they don't
Yes.
care about their likes, they don't care about none of that. So, for me, my kids see me as mom first. then they see a
Yeah.
mom who's following her dream, you know. So, but you know, it's great to have a support system that you can depend
Yes.
on and count on when you're trying to, you know, work towards a goal.
Yes. So how does it feel seeing your book in spaces like libraries and bookstores and just out in the
It's
community? What
it's
is that
crazy.
like?
Sometimes I just sit and look at my books. I know that sounds weird, but it's amazing because I, I tell you, in December I told myself I would have one book before the end of 2024. That was the goal. That was literally the goal. My third book is coming out in a week. It's
Yes.
crazy. I mean, like I tell you, when I stepped out on faith, everything just it just changed. I mean, just to know that my books are in libraries, public libraries across the United States is like a true dream, a true dream. But I prolonged. Fear really had me in a chokehold. Thinking I was too old had me in a chokehold. Like, your time is past. And I used to pray. Last year I prayed a lot about my purpose. Like every day I prayed, like there got to be something for me. Like, because I just felt like I was just in limbo. But I ain't hear nothing, so I just kept praying. And then one day I was waking up, and I heard clear as day. I felt like somebody was in a room with me. It said, "Write a book." And I knew it was God speaking to me. He said it clear as day, write a book. Like, you've been praying all these months. I'm telling you what to do. And I literally said out loud, you can't be telling me to write a book. Cause I can't, like, I'm not doing that. And that's what I said. Like, and I just turned back over. So I kept praying. It was nothing, 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 nothing. So finally my husband was like, out of the blue, he was like, are you gonna write a book? Cause if you don't, you're gonna regret it.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should write a book. And that's when I told myself, like, okay, the end of 2024, I'm going to write a book. And as soon as I jumped off that fence and stopped being scared and listened to God when He told me to move, everything just pivoted.
Yes.
Everything. You couldn't tell me in December that I would have the things that I have going on right now. I mean, I didn't never seen this coming. Like, never. It was not even. I sometimes I just can't believe it. I can't.
Yeah.
That's why I just sit and look at my book sometimes. I look at what I've created. I look at the things over the past few months of what has happened, and
Yeah.
I'm in awe. And I just thank God so much all the time. Sometimes I just break out and cry because I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is my life. I'm living my dream. You know what I mean? And some days I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel like He's brought me this far. It's got to be it's got to be even better moving forward.
Yeah.
But all that's saying is, when God tell you to move, just move. Because I prolonged. I'm glad that, you know, and the man came and said, write a book.
Right.
He said it big clear as day. Like, it was like, and I said to him, I told God, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm too old. My time is past. And it's crazy. So yeah, that I knew He was telling me, but I was so scared to do it. Like, I knew God had told me to write a book, but I was so scared. The fear had me in such a chokehold that I couldn't even listen to God at that point. So, once I did it, He was like, finally, now I can give you all the things that I've been holding on to give you. So, yeah, if you got a dream, I don't care how old you are, I don't care your circumstances, you go for it. Especially if you feel like that's your passion and your purpose,
Mm.
rock out, do it. Please don't be like me and be disobedient, and then you gotta wait even longer. So
And you
yeah,
know what? I think sometimes it's like we hear God clearly and we're like, no, not because we don't want to listen or we don't believe Him, but we look at it like, me?
that's what it was. I was like,
There's
me write
no
a
way
book,
you're calling me.
knowing that that's my dream. I want to write. He's telling
Yeah.
me, I'm telling you to write this book, but then I'm like, bro, I can't write this book because I'm not
Yeah.
good enough. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's so crazy how our minds think. But I mean, once I jumped, I'm telling you, like, it was like, it's been a 360.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that this would be my life. You couldn't tell me I would be writing a book, co-authoring a book. You couldn't tell me any of these things. I'd be going to a conference. I've been nominated for an award. Like, none of these things were even in my mind.
Mhm.
Not
You
even in my
have
mind. It wasn't
evidence
even
of
thought process.
evidence of like what it means to really trust God and follow his instructions. And sometimes he gives us those instructions and we say no, but then we'll hear it. Somebody else will come and give us that word, that confirmation. So your husband did that. He gave
My
you that.
husband did that. He was like, yo, you gonna do this or not? Because you're gonna regret it. And I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? You're right. I was dragging my feet. But I did it, and fear is crazy. Fear will have you not do a lot.
Mm.
So you just gotta do it scared. That's my thing. Just do it scared.
Me.
Because he got you. He got you. If he brought you to it, he gonna bring you through it. I know that sounds real, like people say it all the time, but it's so the truth.
It is so true.
It's
So
so true.
yes. And so could you imagine, right? Not only did you say, hey, I'm going to become a children's book author. I'm taking my love for writing that I've had since I was younger, but I'm also going to be here encouraging and dropping gems, right? And encouraging people to follow God's instructions and to do it scared, right?
Girl, I'm telling you, it's so mind-boggling. Like in the mornings, that's my time to like get up, drink my coffee, listen to my word, read my Bible. And sometimes I just be so overwhelmed with gratitude, like, wow. And sometimes you get into a place where you're just like, do I even deserve all this? Like, do I even, I ain't always been the best person. And then do I deserve all this? So then you start thinking, and then you're like, he loved me so much that he still did it for me. So,
Yeah.
and all of this that's happening and the things that I'm working on, I'm just so thankful. I'm tired. I'd be overwhelmed sometimes, but I would not have it any other way because really this is what I prayed for. So I can't complain in something that I asked God for. So I'm thankful. And I tell you, I sit and look at my books, girl. My husband be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Sir, I wrote books." You know?
Yes.
So yeah, yeah, it's been a wonderful thing. It has. It really has.
Yes, I love it. So children's book author and gem dropper, right? I love it. This has been an amazing conversation. I want to make sure because we went from talking about the children's book to like really just encouraging and motivating the people to if you are afraid to do something, do it scared, especially when God comes and drops that word that you need to do it, you need to do it. Listen, because the doors are going to open when you do follow his plan. So I just wanted to share that. But I want to give an opportunity for you to please let the people know how can we follow you and your book series on social media, and then how can we order your books?
Okay, so I am on Instagram at author Paula Banks. I'm on there. That's a social media platform that I frequent the most. I am on Instagram, not Instagram, Facebook, Paula Y Banks. No, yes, Paula Y Banks. I'm on there sometimes, but Instagram is where you can mostly find me. You can purchase my books. I'm gonna say at my website first, paulaYbanks.com. They're also on Amazon.com. You can find them on Walmart.com and Barnes and Nobles. But yeah, if you want to order, you can order directly from my website, paulaYbanks.com.
Yes, ma'am. And you have some new things dropping soon. Are you able to share anything about those
Yeah,
projects?
so I've been working on an author kit. So it's called the Tiny Tales Author Kit, Write, Create, Illustrate. Like I told you before, I have always wanted to be a writer. And when I go into schools, there's always little kids that are like, wow, I could be an author, I could be a writer, I could be an illustrator. So I wanted to create like a kit and a workshop where I can go into the schools and speak about self-publishing. So the kit has a hardcover blank book. It has everything they need to create their own book, story prompts, illustration prompts, just everything they need in this kit that I've created, a box. And I've been working on that. So I have a school edition and then the actual premium at home edition that will drop in April of 2025. And this is something that I've really been working really hard on, just trying to figure it out. And I'm excited about that. So the workshop and the school edition kit is for schools and educators. So that is where I would go into the school and do my young storytelling workshop, and I would talk about self-publishing. We would walk through them for creating characters, the plot, the setting. And I'm really excited about that. So that is what I've been working on really hard, especially the one that's coming out in April, because that's like the premium kit for at home. So yeah, this is I'm excited about it.
Yes, I'm excited about that for you. I love it. Anytime that we can give back and encourage our next generation of authors and illustrators,
Yes.
publishers, marketers, I'm always for that. That's what it's all about, taking our gifts and encouraging other people.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
that's what I'm working on, and I'll have another book will be coming out in February. This book is not a Peyton's series book. It's an actual book for my little guys. So it's a book for the little boys. I wanted to have something for them as well. Boys could read Peyton, but I wanted something specifically like for them and girls because I was a it has trucks in it, but I love trucks growing up. So that's another reason that I wanted to just add a part of me into my writing. So that'll be coming out in February. And then in October of 2025, I have the next Peyton book will come out, and that will be talking about a little mental health anxiety because I suffer with anxiety. So yeah, that is what I have coming up um, for Paula Banks.
Yes, awesome. And I'm
Oh, with
gonna
my conference. Yeah, the conference. Can't wait that. Yeah, the conference in March. Yes, yes.
listen, I was gonna drop that one for you. Listen, Paul is co-authoring Moments for Moms 3.
Yes, co-author moment for moms. Yes, there's so much. I'm telling you, there's so much.
Yeah,
It's so much that I have to literally I have to consult with my calendar now. You know what I mean? Like I can't just be like, hey, oh yeah, I'm good, I'm free. I literally be
right.
like, let me get back to you because I have to literally go to my calendar and be like, oh, that's not gonna work. I got something else. So I'm so blessed, girl. I'm so blessed. And I gotta thank you for really I don't know what you be seeing in me, but I thank you for seeing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm thank you for reaching out and be like, I see you. I think you're dope. And I see you. And I appreciate that because sometimes you feel like when you're doing these things that you're just doing them and nobody's watching and nobody's looking and you feel like you're not, nobody's getting it. And then
Right.
when
Yeah.
someone reaches out and be like, I see you, I see your consistency, I see you working, that really did something for me. So I want to thank you for always continuously pushing me out of my comfort zone because you pushed. I'm doing things that I would have never done. So I appreciate you because you pushing me has brought on more opportunities that I wouldn't have if I would have just been like, no, let imposter syndrome keep me on lockdown. So I really, truly, honestly thank you for that.
I appreciate that. Listen, I push other people because it pushes me. I think I told you before, right? So I'm pulling people out of their comfort zones along with me as I go out of mine. So yes, keep doing
Yeah,
all.
you pulling, and I appreciate you because I
Yes.
would have never done any of these things. Co-author a book, I don't know. I can't do that. I'm scared. I don't know, right? So I do thank you because it's really, really it helps my confidence. It's really just helping me, do things. Like I went to go get my hair cut this morning, and I'm working on a initiative, sponsor a classroom, that I'm doing, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pitch to my barber. You know what I mean? Like I would have never done that. So things like that it just really helps me feel more confident because you know that other people see things in you. So you were like, okay, they see it in me. Let me bring it out. So again, thank
I love that. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking this time. So I always have to end the show with one last question.
you. Sure.
How? Yes. So how do you want your books and your author brand to make an impact on the world?
I want my books and author brand to make an impact. I want people to think about I want people to realize that everybody deserves a place in stories and literature and children's books in the world. I think that inclusivity and representation is so important. So when people think about Paula Banks and her books and her brand. I want those things to come to mind. Those are the things that I really feel are important. Those are the things that I dealt with when I was a kid because I didn't have that. I didn't have anyone who looked like me on in children's books. And even though we have them now, they're still kids who aren't being represented, with disabilities, kids who have alopecia, infantile. I mean, like there's so many diverse things, so many areas are still being, not represented in stories. And I want all kids to feel, like they matter. So that is what I want people to take away from my brand. And also I want them to fall in love with a little hip hop while doing it. So that's yeah, that's what I want.
Yes, I love this. Thank you so much, Paula, once again for taking this time out and sharing about your journey, your love for hip hop, your love for inclusivity, and all the amazing things that you are working on. So, listeners, please make sure that you go and connect with author Paula on social media. Get her books, invite her to your schools, your daycares, the YMCA, all of
Yes.
the things, right? You want to make sure that you connect with her brand. She's doing amazing things. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, share, and really important, please leave a comment on our podcast episodes. It helps to bring more visibility to our show, and we want to make sure that our author stories are shared worldwide. Make sure you tune in for the next episode. Thank you. Take care.